Oh, welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as we rock and roll on this beautiful Friday Eve. Golly, I put my headsets in late. I don't see how Rob does it. Woo! I only got one good ear, and it just blew out the one good ear I had. Woo! That was loud. Anyway, maybe it wasn't Rob. Maybe it was a guest. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Back. Great to be back in the studio, Mr. Brandon. Good to go on the road. Great to get back home as well. So I hope you held down the fort okay. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. All right, a lot of stuff to cover today. Jim Beam at it again, popping the great Edwards defender, Jim Beam, who I don't know if this guy ever has an original thought anymore, but popping Kennedy and Landry trying to protect Jim. Going to protect that landslide winner, Jim, the Governor Edwards, trying to protect him. I don't know why they're trying to protect him. He won the landslide. People love him. Y'all tell us that all the time. I don't know why they got to protect him. GOP duo takes the low road often. And, of course, what does he do? Slam anybody did that to me last week. Anybody that challenges old John Bell and all his tax and spend liberal ways. Boy, I tell you what, Beam and the rest of them are just going to dog you. That's what he does. He has no clue about the truth. He doesn't care about the truth. You better not get in the way of John Bell Edwards in his reelection. Which, by the way, if he won so big, he had such a big landslide, and he's winning so big, why you have to defend him? But he does that. Of course, he goes after Landry and Kennedy. He uses other Republicans. The prison reform thing, which, by the way, Kennedy has sent information to Trump. I know Bell Edwards is going to meet with them, but Kennedy has sent some real information. And see, Jim just blows it to the side, start mentioning people like Representative Julie Emerson, who voted for the bill. And they were Republicans, Brandon. We brought it up the other day, a bunch of Republicans that voted for this, because I don't think they knew what they were voting for. And he even mentions people like Bobby Jindal. Now Bobby Jindal, this is this criminal justice reform recommendation was actually instituted by then Republican Bobby Jindal. Now, see, Bobby has credibility all of a sudden. And when it comes to the budget, Bobby has no credibility, even though Edwards voted for the budget. It's amazing how we use people. You know, now they great people. You know, just like the press tried to use Bush against Trump. They couldn't stand Bush. But, boy, if you go against Trump, that's one thing they can bring up. I'll be honest with you, I just fall out laughing at the press trying to defend the governor and all of his liberal ways. By the way, one of them, and another argument, he's a centrist. Even people are calling him centrist. Centrists are liberals. That John Breaux was considered a centrist. John Breaux was a liberal. John Breaux supported Obama. So did Bell Edwards. John Breaux supported Hillary Clinton. So did Edwards. I mean, they're not centrists. A centrist is a leftist. There's somebody who's trying to position himself. Well, I'm not radical right or radical left. Yes, that's right. You're right dead middle of the road. And last time I looked, Brandon, every time somebody gets dead middle of the road, they get run over. If you don't like it, go try it and see for yourself. So, and they left us. They really are on most issues. So I just get a kick out of, we got people like Jim Beam going after Kennedy and Landry because he knows one of them will probably run for governor, among other people. Congressman Abraham's looking at it, and maybe some other people. And this is what I'm having problems with. Beam is defending Edwards on this justice reform. And Brandon, I guess it's okay because his family member wasn't murdered. But we know for a fact that a couple of them have gotten out already and actually killed people, murdered them. But Jim doesn't care about that because they probably didn't kill somebody that Jim knew. They probably didn't kill somebody in his family or a friend of his. They probably killed somebody he has no clue who they are. So it doesn't matter that we let some prisoners go that actually murdered people. That's the part that bothers me. Beam can write all this stuff he wants to. Okay, he's been doing it for 50-something years. He needs to retire. He's absolutely gotten to be horrendous. How do people in Lake Charles put up with him? I have no idea. So what does he do? Always, if he's so convinced that Bell Edwards won in a landslide, then just let him win again in a landslide. Should be simple. Defend. This is what they do. But that's the thing that bothers me the most. is you have a criminal justice system that some bad people were let out. A quarter of them are already back in prison, and 2 of them had committed murders that would not have been committed had they not gotten out. Maybe they'd have killed somebody in prison, but they would not have killed someone in the public. And Jim and them just poo-poo that idea away. Whatever happened to the old liberal theme, if we can just save one child? Well, if we could have just saved one more person from being killed, Jim, it was a good program to keep the people in prison. Here's the other thing. Jim, the whole articles, he does this every time, with Landry and Edwards, Kennedy, he always talks about the political side. They just want to beat him. They just want to run against him. It's all political. Brandon, tell me if I'm wrong, because if I am, I want you to correct me. I don't mind being corrected. Didn't they brag, and by the way, I can pull it up and show it to you, didn't they brag, well, we're not the most incarcerated state anymore? Was that not political?
That's a political talking point.
And the thing about it is, that political talking point is shoved down our throat by Bill Edwards and his friends and the people in the media. Well, we're not the most incarcerated. I read one the other day where he said we're not the most incarcerated state anymore. Why is he saying that? Because he wants his voters to know, politically speaking, that I've done something about it. That's all it is. But Beam only focuses on the politics of Kennedy and Landry. Yes, some of it's politics. I understand that. But some of it's truth. Here, let me read a quote. I'm quoting Bill Edwards in the Shreveport Times, August 6, 2018. For too long, Louisiana held the title as the state with the highest incarceration rate, said Bill Edwards. Today, that is no longer who we are. That is 100. The prison reform was done, listen to me, 100% for politics. And yet Beam keeps going. Kennedy and Landry are doing it for political reasons. His whole articles, every article he writes, he talks about the politicizing of an issue. And yet I'm quoting the governor right here once again saying, for too long, Louisiana's been held the title of the state with the highest incarceration rate. Today, that's no longer who we are. Brandon, does that not sound political to you? Why do you think? Why do you think he wants people to know this?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's in politics. This is all politics. Come on, man.
But Beam only looks at Kennedy and Landry, the only one playing politics here. It's worse than that. Edwards is playing politics, but the press and the media are helping him play politics. Today, he spoke at this meeting yesterday, and see, people think he's a centrist. He's not the liberal that they say he is. And I just kind of get a kick out of this, because see, Brandon, they know. They know he's in trouble. They know he's deep doo-doo as far as winning re-election. I said that when he won. He was always going to be in trouble. You know, if some kind of miracle he pulls it off, and the people of Louisiana, you think you had higher taxes? You think the $6 billion they passed the high with the weak Republicans that we have in the Senate? And the weak Republicans we have in the House, like more taxes, Abraham, and raising taxes, y'all. Raising recidivism rates, y'all. I voted for that, too. You know. I mean, come on. You know, Julie Stokes. By the way, I saw, Brian, I don't know if I printed it. They keep saying Stokes is the front runner. And you mentioned a point to me where they're probably saying that because she's raised the most money. I just got some, and I can't find it. I'm going to go look it up again. That she hasn't raised the most money.
Well, that was reported the other day that she was the leading fundraiser, so maybe she just recently got passed up.
Well, Edmondson, is it Edmonds? Edmonds is now saying he is raising the most money. So I don't know who's raising the most money. My point being is that's not why they say that, Brandon, in the press. That, I admit with you that may be part of it, but the big part of it, they want her to win.
Right.
Beam has picked the people he wants to win. Whoever likes Edwards, and Julie Nancy Pelosi Stokes loves Bill Edwards, gave money to him in his last election. Big Republican, Julie Stokes, big conservative, probably a centrist. She's a liberal. And anyway, so when I watch this kind of stuff and I see Beam constantly say Landry and Edwards are playing politics. They're politicians. What do you want them to play, badminton? So is Bill Edwards. When Bill Edwards claims, oh, man, for too long, the highest incarceration rate, no longer. Well, we got 2 people out to kill people. If they would have killed one of Jim Beam's family members, God forbid, Jim, I wonder if you'd feel the same way. Because I'm sure these people that got out of prison and killed one of their family members, I'm sure they're not too happy with this new law. My gut feeling is they're not going to be too happy. Just like the illegals that Obama's allowed over here, the murders, the rapes, the gang wars, the dope that's come over here. I bet people that got tied up and got hurt or lost family members, they're not real happy with Obama bragging about all these people we let in here free. And it's not all of them, but it's enough of them. And I always like to remember what they always say, if we can just save one life. If we can get rid of guns and just save one life. Well, we could just save one life. We could have saved two that we know of had these people stayed incarcerated. And by the way, you don't just let people out that are habitual offenders. You don't. That is not reform. That's no different reform than the Stelly bill was. What they call tax reform, Brand, is when they swap from one tax to another and take even more out your pocket, and they call that tax reform. Hey, Jim, grow up. Look, Bill Edwards, when he gets beat, and I believe in all my heart he'll get beat, what are you going to say? What happened to that old landslide he did with Vitter? And then he's going to make up excuses about that. All right, 844-766-6607, Hickson has it hotline. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. I don't know how you people put up with him over there. We're going to take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Hickson has it hotline. I'm glad to think that I saw Julie Emerson had voted for that bill. But Dad, remember, Brian, and I told you, and I didn't even go back. I need to go back. A lot of Republicans.
Yeah, there were a lot of them.
So anyway, we'll see what goes on. The other thing is the Medicaid. I mean, every time you read about the Medicaid, we got problems with it. I heard y'all talking to Fred Mills. Yes, I like Fred. Fred's a good guy. Fred's one of those guys that you can't help but to like. I don't like his voting record. I heard some of the things he said yesterday. I understand they're trying to just draw some of the rhetoric around. I know he mentioned something about computers and technology and all that, and that all sounds great, trying to lower the deal. But the fact of the matter is, when the legislative auditor, he did not go into this thing and go, well, if we would correct this and correct this, we can be better. That's not what he did. He called misappropriated Medicaid funds despite evidence of fraud. He's talked about the fraud. If you go back and read the reports, and I know Fred's he's such a good guy. I understand that part of Fred Mills, Senator Mills I'm talking about. But I'm also looking at what the evidence, and the evidence is overwhelmingly against what's happening with Medicaid. And that's the part Kennedy and Landry and them have been on this. But if they don't talk about it, who's going to talk about it? Do you think the people in the media are going to keep writing about it over and over again, how bad it is? Like I said, I commended Mills as trying to do what he's trying to do, trying to lower all the stuff down to straighten it up. But there's a problem. Legislative auditors get paid to do a job. And the guy did his job, and it didn't shine good light at all on what's happening with Medicaid. And yes, John Kennedy and Jeff Landry have come out and spoke against it, but they should have. Don't we want – Landry's our number one law enforcement official in his state. And you don't want him to say one word about it? Kennedy was the treasurer here for a long time. He's a United States senator. We getting all this money for Medicaid, and you don't want him to say a word about it? By the way, there were attempts after an attempt after an attempt, and the House passed bills proposed that would have helped take Medicaid and change it up and do some stuff about it. And Bill Edwards and Senate Democrats voted against a House-passed bill. All the bill would have done would have allowed a comparison of state income tax returns to Medicaid recipients, which would have, by the way, would have rooted out error and fraud. And the Democrats and Bill Edwards didn't want it. The chief legislative auditor said there are bad actors in every direction. We should catch them. My suggestion to you is we have methods in place to do something about it, and they didn't do anything about it. I don't understand the popping Kennedy and Landry for coming out with the truth, and a legislative auditor who's independent came out and gave all this stuff out there about how bad things are. The Health Department made improper, misappropriated, and fraudulent Medicaid payments within key areas. This is proven. They've got the facts on it. There's nothing to do. And I know Fred talked about computing. We're trying to catch up to date. But the bottom line is, I don't think you have to. Why do we expand it so much? Expand it so if we can't control it. Medicaid payments were made to unlicensed providers, unauthorized to do business in Louisiana, and to providers with unverified credentials whose sites were never visited by the Office of Public Health. Now that's bad, folks. Billions of dollars. That's bad operation for anybody. So I don't find a justification, not about Senator Mills or anybody else, to talk about how the program, we just got a few flaws to correct it. It seems like to me there's nobody trying to correct it. You know? Within the existing system, unlicensed provider bill and are paid for Medicaid claims. You had one provider without a license billed $6.9 million in 10 months and was paid $2.6 million. The Health Department never once visited the site. Now, Brandon, you gonna cut me a check for $2 million and never know what it's going for? I mean, one of these agencies was paying $300,000 to $400,000 per month. I mean, this is ridiculous what's been done here. And it's billions of dollars in Medicaid fraud. And yet we got people in the state don't want to correct it. We're going to fuss at Kennedy and Landry for bringing this up in the legislative auditor. They can't defend it at Louisiana Health and Hospitals. They can't do it. Anyway, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. How y'all all? Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Atlanta School. No more Pledge of Allegiance to start today. Yes, folks, let's just keep bringing down the culture of America. Atlanta School eliminates morning Pledge of Allegiance recitation. Atlanta Chapter School will not recite the Pledge of Allegiance, part of the morning meeting agenda. Atlanta Neighborhood Charter School on Grant Street made the announcement Tuesday in a news release. Students will be given an opportunity to say the pledge at another point during the school day, and the decision was made in an effort to begin our day as a fully inclusive and connected community, according to the release. Yes, include everybody. Wow. Take our culture and keep slamming it to the ground. We're not doing the Pledge of Allegiance. It's hateful. It's racist. That's what they're basically telling us. It's folks, and just look around. I just cringe as I watch the post-Christian culture and the post-freedom and America culture just dwindle away right in front of our eyes. You know, we saw the definition of marriage crumble right in front of our eyes. Years ago, we saw them say it's okay to kill a baby. And they are killing them at about 60 million now. You know, so the free speech they're working hard on free speech. I think social media will be the devastation of free speech as they try to determine what you can say and what you can't say, like climate deniers. You know, people that don't believe in the stupidity of man-made global warming.
Which to me is ironic with social media, given that it's given so much people a voice that didn't really have a voice.
It totally flips it, what it does, Brandon. And I agree with you. You know, when you look at the free speech guys, the people that used to be for free speech back in the 50s, 60s, mm-hmm. You know, when women didn't vote, okay, they had a right to vote. They probably should have always voted. Didn't happen. We had blacks didn't get to vote. Blacks should always vote it. Didn't happen. It's finally there. Been there for 40, 50 years now. They had a lot of stuff they were the people that were protesting as a right to speak out and speak and vote now want it to be determined what's good speech and what's bad speech. You know, like I said, I don't think one day in the near future I will be able to say I'm for traditional marriage of a man and woman. I think that's the only recognizable marriage. One day that's going to be just taboo. You're not going to be able to say that. I can feel it, but I don't need to say it. Same thing with abortion. You almost cannot say that abortion should be made illegal and the killing of children. They just jump all over you. They're going to jump on us one day to say, well, man has a right to be a woman if they choose to. You know, we're really teetering on that right now. So one day, no, we don't need to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's racist. Well, who told somebody it was racist? We don't need to sing the national anthem. We don't need to stand up for the national anthem. You know, it's the whole thing's being flipped. You sell cakes and pastries and things of that nature and decide I'm not going to sell one because of my religious belief, and you get ripped down to pieces about it. You know, it's a change in culture, and it's post-Christian. And all these on the left, they claim they're big Christians and they believe in abortion and change of marriage and all that stuff. You got to kind of question. Well, I mean, do they really believe? Well, who are you? You judge and jury? You're God? No, I'm not. I can't judge a heaven and hell, but I can make a judgment on who I vote for. I can make a judgment on who I hang around with. I can make a judgment on how to raise my family. I can make a judgment on what I think is right and wrong. I can judge that all day. We make that judgment every day. People talk about judging. We judge too much. You don't. You make a judgment on everything you do every day. What kind of car you drive, what kind of Brandon's wearing a red shirt today. Probably decided to pick that out and wear it. He made a judgment. Make a judgment in these elections, you know. We got a friend over here mess with us all the time. He hates Trump. I ain't gonna mention his name. Okay, but he thought Obama was great. He thought Obama was just, oh man, Obama was great. And you ask him what he was great. What was he great on? You know, and so you make a judgment. People make judgment. People make judgments every single day. We make judgments on people and what we do. So yeah, you judge, and I do too. I make judgment. You make judgments. We make them every single day. You know, so where you gonna go eat today? Where you not gonna go eat? I mean, who's your friend? Who's not your friend? Who you like? Who you don't like? Those are done every day. All right, let's jump gears. Brett Munson joined me. First South Farm Credit. Brett, how you doing, bud?
Moon, I'm great. How are you today?
Doing pretty good, Brett. I'm gonna have a great opportunity here on the 22nd of Lake Charles. They're opening up a new First South Farm Credit office in Lake Charles. I'm looking forward to going in there because I think all the big shots will be in there, and they're opening up another office, which shows the growth of First South Farm Credit.
Yeah, they are. Everybody will be there, and got them a great new building down there, expanding the market, and everything's going well for them. So I'm excited for them, and I think it's going to be a good thing for First South overall. It sure is.
Well, no, but what y'all do is y'all land people, I call you. Now, of course, you handle financing and helping people find the land that they want. But you're having growth because people count on y'all, and that's important. Talk a little bit about what all the services y'all provide for people.
Well, first and foremost, Moon, we help people finance rural real estate is what we do on a day in, day out basis. We do a lot of agriculture related things, operating loans, farmers, equipment, all kind of stuff. But when it comes to the real estate for everybody, we kind of take them from the get-go. If we find out they're looking to purchase a piece of real estate, wherever it may be, how big or how small is irrelevant. We kind of walk them through the process. If they need help, show them where to go, what to look for, kind of let them know what maybe the value of the land is, and give them as many tips as possible to get them started. And then we'll come up with a personalized package for financing to help them achieve their goal of making that purchase.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, y'all do a lot of rural stuff, is what y'all really concentrate on. Is that correct?
That's right. That is what we do and what we do best. Timberland, hunting land, all the above.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like I tell people, y'all one-stop shopping center because they can walk in your office and say, look, I'm looking for land in a certain area. Y'all can help them find land. You can help them evaluate their land, actually go on the site on land that they're looking to buy and go tell them what the land's really worth because there may be a lot of timber, things they can sell and harvest that they may not even be looking at when they go to purchase the land.
Yeah, a lot of times people focus on just the area or, one reason they want it, whether it's to hunt, whatever it may be. But, they do forget to look at everything sometimes. They may be looking at a reason to buy it to hunt, but forget that, they could go in a couple of years, cut some timber, use that to pay the loan. There's just so many things, so many moving parts that we can sit down and really bring to their attention and kind of show them an overall spectrum of what they're working with.
Oh, no doubt about it. It makes it easier. Like I tell you, if you never really purchase land like that, and even if you consider yourself an expert, if they go with y'all got people in every field to help them know exactly what they're doing in purchasing, how much money they need to put down, how much can be financed on land, all those little things you don't think about when you're buying land. Y'all can help answer all those questions.
Yeah, we're going to turn over every stone for them, because some people, they don't know the answers to everything, but we do. And if they don't have the knowledge, we're here to provide it. And sometimes they don't think to ask about certain things. And so we're going to sit them down and make sure we cover everything from start to finish with them so that there is no doubt in their mind that they're getting the right deal with us.
No doubt about it. All right, real quick, give out a number people can get in touch with you. Also, do you know your website that people, if they want to go to, I know they can Google First South Farm Credit and probably find out everything they need.
And they can. Our website is actually just firstsouthland.com, and they can call 1-800-955-1722, and that will connect them to the branch that's closest to them.
Yeah, and I want to mention, y'all, I think y'all have 12 or 13 locations throughout the state, so there's probably a branch within driving distance. But I know you guys will get out in the vehicle and go meet somebody looking land, but it's driving distance probably somewhere.
Yeah, no, we're nearby just about anywhere somebody is, and we'll also hop in the truck and go meet you, whatever need be. But we're all the way from Monroe down to Lake Charles, over to Zachary, everywhere in between.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Brett Munson. All right, Brett, thank you, sir. God bless. Appreciate the call. I encourage people to call First South Farm Credit. Find out all you need.
We appreciate it.
All right, Brett. Thank you, bud. All right, we've got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Now, something I've been watching, as you know, they had the tight race in Ohio. It's about 1,750 votes difference, Republican over the Democrat. And I think it's... I'm going to talk about this because I'm still concerned they'll steal it. They did that with in Minnesota when Al Franken won. They stole that election. And it was 500 and something votes short. Then it was 300. Then it was 200. Then it was 100. All of a sudden, Big Al took the lead. Well, here's my problem with this. All right. They just now found hundreds of uncounted votes. 588 uncounted votes. And with the change, Democrat O'Connor got 190 more votes than Republican Balderson. And now it's 1,564. If this was 564 when it started, they would find the votes. And by the way, he is from Franklin County. Well, guess what? The Franklin County Board of Elections said in a news release that they newly discovered ballots had not been processed in the tabulation system. Now, I got a question. If you're running an election, and you people that run an election, you tell me if I'm wrong. How did you find 588 votes sitting over there under the case of beer or wherever they found it? It's kind of like the legislature. They find 10 million here and 50 million here and 100 million here. I mean, if you're really honest about elections, and I know people that you work in the precincts, tell me, how do you lose 588 votes in one of the candidates' districts that all of a sudden pops up and you got 190 votes? I mean, this is what they did. Oh, my God. Right over here in O'Connor's County, we found 588 votes that hadn't been counted. What do? You people that are listening to me that work in this, what do you do that you could accidentally leave 588 votes over on the side or under the table behind the chair? Who does that? The people that did that should be fired immediately, lose their jobs. The people in head of the elections should lose their jobs. Oh, Brandon, go look at that chair over there. Maybe we got some election results. Maybe we lost some numbers on the last Bell Edwards race. I mean, this happens all the time, and it always benefits the Democrat. This happened in the Al Sharpton race. Not Al Sharpton, Al Franken. Al Franken was up, losing about 560-something votes, and all of a sudden he won by 300 or 400 votes. You tell me, you people that run this election process, or you electioneer people that work the election, who puts 588 votes to the side over here and forgets to count them? And out of the 588, and it was in the same county that O'Connor is from. O'Connor, who's from Franklin County, celebrated the news by tweeting red sirens and informing his followers that he is confident he will soon be declared the winner. He asked for donations to continue the fight, and the votes are counted fairly. Now, here we go again. The votes are counted fairly. I'll be blunt with you. When an election is solved and the machines are closed, you don't find 588 votes. They don't count. And if they don't count, the people that were in charge of those votes coming in on time and being done right, every one of them are fired that day without pay. The Democrats always manage to find a few votes here and a few votes there. So they found 588 in the county the guy's from. He's got red sirens sending stuff out. Hey, this is not over. We're going to still win this. What do y'all do? Set up 588 over here and 588 over there and 588 over there? And you're finding votes everywhere? When the election, Brandon, last I looked, tell me if I'm wrong, was the election not over Tuesday night? Mm-hmm. And I know you got to count, and there may be some counting stuff, but today is Thursday, and they're finding votes laying around the House, and it always benefits Democrats. Always. Always helps Democrats. Al Franken won this way. He actually won this way, kept counting votes for 2 weeks, and he won. But they kept finding votes. They kept finding things that never were counted, that we were told were never counted. Yeah, out of the 500, somebody asked if they find any votes for Republicans. Yeah. Out of the 588 votes, the Democrat got 190 more votes once they counted it. Democrats have been doing, you let Democrats, look, Mary Landrieu and them stole the election. There's no doubt Mary Landrieu and them stole the election. Everybody that ever been involved in elections that had common sense knew that Landrieu and them stole the election. But, so you got this election, this O'Connor guy keeps saying, I'm going to win still. Where? Does he know something we don't know? If you work in an election place, in a precinct, there are rules you have to follow. And when the election's over, the votes start, they're counted. They're put together. Now, every state's different. I don't know how you say, oh, look, did y'all count those votes over there? Oh, we didn't count those over. Well, what are they doing over there? Why aren't they with the rest of the ballots that were cast? I'm telling you, folks, if they could steal it, they will steal it in a second. Never apologize and keep going. All of a sudden, I'm telling you, the whole arc only 1564 now. Danny O'Connor tweeted out with we just netted 190 votes in Franklin County. We're confident Danny will win once all the votes are counted, but we spent everything we had on a special election. Please donate $5 to make sure every last vote is counted fairly. So he's using Brent. I know you laugh. I'm glad you're laughing at that. Now he's raising money.
Yep.
He's raising money. You know what they're raising the money's for? Next election. Because they run against each other again in 3 months.
They do. Which is ridiculous, by the way, that they're going to really just be able to run against each other in 3 months. I know one thing happened like that in Louisiana where it was like 9 months later they had the election.
Yeah, there's a time deal on it. Yeah. But they've already decided this is how they're doing it in their state, and this is how they're doing it. But, Brandon, the point being is now he's doing it as a fundraiser. We are confident Danny will win once all the votes are counted. Why aren't the votes already counted 2 days later? Folks, what happens today if they say, we found 462 more in this county? The fix is in. And by the way, out of that 462, Danny added another 150 votes. They don't care. They don't care. Democrats don't care how they win. Cheat, steal, lie, pay, bribe. They don't care. But the big problem with what I'm reading right is not just the Democrats, it's people that will actually say we found 588 votes. How do you find 588 votes? You people that work in precincts, is that how it works? Y'all kind of lollygag around when the election's over and count them up and send them over, and then a day later you go back by and say, oh, look, we left some votes over there. I better run these over to the registrar's office and let them know we got 588 votes that need to be counted. Maybe again. This is the process. Al Franken won this way. Democrats have won in the past. As my friend used to tell me, if you let an election stay close, they'll steal it behind the scenes. And I'm not saying they're going to steal this, because I don't see how they get the other 1,564, but I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. They picked up 190 more votes. And now O'Connor, and if I had voted for him, I'd be going, look at this political boop. He's raising money on the back of, we got a shot at this. We just picked up 190 votes. And by the way, the 190 votes was in his county. His county. I cannot believe we put up with this mess. I would be livid if I was living there. I'm living now about it. I can't believe that they can just find votes everywhere. All right, we're going to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We will see you back in a few minutes. By the way, Brandon, what was the story you were telling me that Nelson in the Senate race and Republicans are now saying
he's so concerned now that Russians are hacking into their election system and that they're going to take away registered voters and it could cause chaos on Election Day. Here we go. With a state primary less than 3 weeks away, U.S. Senator Bill Nelson claims Russian operatives have penetrated the election system in a number of Florida counties. The Florida Democrat told the Tampa Bay Times yesterday that the Russians could potentially eliminate registered voters, creating chaos on Election Day. Nelson and Republican Senator Marco Rubio have sent letters to all 67 of Florida's election supervisors, urging them to contact the Department of Homeland Security for assistance in securing their records. Officials at the State Division of Elections say they have no evidence to support the claims by Nelson and Rubio.
None. No evidence. It's kind of like collusion. There's no evidence. But, hey, let's keep that thing going because, I mean, Brandon, it's sicko stuff out there. The real cheating went on when Al Franken flipped 564 votes. That's when the real cheating went on. Landry and them, wow. They had multiple people voting, riding buses around, voting in different precincts, stole that election, and nobody wanted to do anything about it. It's just amazing. The Russians are going to steal the midterm election because they've already convinced, Brandon, think about it. They convinced everybody that Hillary was the next president, correct? And she didn't win. They've convinced everybody, or a lot of people that, at least on their side, they convinced their people that, hey, we got these fall elections. We're going to have the House. We're going to have the Senate. We're going to impeach Trump. They've convinced all that. And if they don't win now, what happens? They're going to blame the Russians again? Which, by the way, there's still no Russian. There's no proof that Russians hacked anybody's vote. None. I'm talking about zero. Yet here we go. And I'm not going to be surprised if they don't nut up on election night again. I mean, nut up. Hey, Brandon, let them win 20 seats. And Republicans control the House by 3 seats. Woo! You want to talk about nutting up? They are going to nut up like you've never seen. And the nutting up, the whole thing is a joke. But anyway, you're dealing with irrational people. Irrational people do and say irrational things. And you're dealing with a bunch of irrational people. There's not a whole lot you can do about irrational people. It's really not. And you're going to see it. If it goes like I think it's going to go, They're going to go crazy again, wanting to know what's happening to their elections. Nothing's happening to elections. People reject. Democrats don't have anything to run on. They're only running against. What are they going to do with the state? What are they going to do with taxes? What are they going to do with illegals? What are they going to do about Obamacare? Nothing. They're going to make it worse. So, anyway, I've just kind of got to get a kick out of it. Russians hacking what? Elections. How many votes did they change? 0 to this point. 0. So what's the problem? But yet, here we go again. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Mark, how you doing, Mark?
Doing good, Moon. God, I hate to say it, I'm a Democrat, but I know Russians aren't hacking elections. I mean, for God's sakes, is the NSA, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, all of them saying how stupid we are and the Russians are smarter than us? You gotta be kidding.
Well, let me tell you something. Don't apologize for being a Democrat. That's your choice. Just like it was my choice to leave the Republican Party because I felt like they say one thing and do something else. But the bottom line is, come on, man. If there was really hacking,
Moon, I'd switch to the Republican Party, but they're too liberal for me.
You need to be independent, not independent party, but no party. Hey, but no,
there you go.
I just think that it's kind of ridiculous that we've been watching a Russian collusion investigation that has nothing to do with Russian collusion and investigation. It has nothing to do with anything.
Well, it has to do with collusion, but it's Hillary.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But, you've got to be able to prove they're actually vote changing out on machines. All 50 states handle elections pretty differently. I mean, not exactly different, but differently. And I just think it's ridiculous to think that they've done it. Matter of fact, they haven't done it. But look, if the Democrats lose in the fall, what do you think they're going to say?
Oh, they'll just say we're just too stupid to stop any hacking from any other country. But it's okay for us to hack. But
No, I got to tell you, it's a joke to even think about it. But I'm telling you, when you're dealing with deranged syndrome, you're dealing with ignorance. You're dealing with people who don't care about the truth or don't care about finding out the truth. That's what you deal with. That's the problem you have. You and me are pretty reasonable. And the fact, if you can prove something wrong to me that I'm saying or doing, and you prove it to me without a shadow of a doubt, and I've been wrong, I'm going to say I'm sorry, and I'm going in the same direction with you. These people on the left, they know what direction they're going into. They don't care about the truth. They do not care about what can happen up the road. They don't care. This is what we believe.
They just want to destroy all the people that are with Trump.
Yeah, you can't even breathe about Trump and they get ugly. So anyway, appreciate the call. Appreciate the call, man. All right. Yeah, I like that guy. Went from Democrat to Republican. He said the Republicans are too liberal. He had to leave. Let's go to Tim in Shreveport. Tim, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Moon. Thank you for all you do every day. I got a prescription that'll get Louisiana well and make it a good place for my grandchildren to grow up. That'd be 8 years of Jeff Landry followed by 8 years of a Dodie Horton.
Dodie's pretty tough, too. Well, we're going to see because, Jeff says he's running, but Jeff said he wants to run, but they're waiting to see what Kennedy does, I think. That's my opinion. They didn't tell me this. We're going to see what happens. But, let me tell you what we need. We need somebody who cares more about businesses and people than they do about growing government, and you don't have that. And I've always said this. When we ever get a governor who's strong, who really believes in the private sector, who really wants to see the private sector grow first, who really wants to see jobs be the most important thing we structure our whole economy around is for jobs doing well. If you ever see that, you'll see Louisiana take off, and you'll see Louisiana gain congressional seats back because people want to live here. They like our culture. But all we do here is make it easy to be poor. We don't address the business climate. Our business climate can do so much better if you had the right governor.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that, Moon, and that's what I prescribe, the right governor.
Yep. All right, man.
Jeff Landry, followed by Jody Horton. 16 years of good, responsible leadership in this state will turn it around dramatically.
Yeah. Until we stop, thanks for the call. Till we stop and say, you know what, we're going to do something different. What we're doing now on the Bell Edwards, we did under Jindal, we did under Blanco, we did under Foster, we did under Romer, we did under Edwards, we did under Treen, we did under Huey Long. This is our direction we're going into. We don't get the truth in the way. And that's why we're struggling like we're struggling. It's the reason we don't want to change what we're doing here. So how do you expect different results? You're just going to keep out migration. Paul in Lake Charles. How you doing, Paul?
Good morning, Loon.
Yes, sir.
It seems to me if the Dems have such an issue and they think everybody's a Russian, then they shouldn't have any trouble or any problem with people having to show their ID when you get there to vote.
Oh, I know
Wouldn't that solve everything?
They don't want to do that either.
Well, they don't want. How about what we want? Well, you know what I want? I'm sick and tired of these whiny Dems and liberals. They're communists. They're not even liberals anymore. The Communist Party is taking over the Democrats. And they better wake up. They're losing their party.
Well, put it this way. This ain't no Democrat Party of old. This ain't no Democrat Party of your daddy and your grandfather. It's not even close anymore. And,
it's not even a fact.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. No, this is no Democrat Party like old. Not even close. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Yet Democrats, little Bernie Carbo Richard Carbo is sending out all this stuff. Jim Beam writes a story positive for them, shooting down Landry and Edwards, and the governor's office releases the story. Brad, that'd be like you writing a positive piece on me, and I just go release the story. What does it really mean? You know? Hey, Jim, can you write a story slamming Landry and Edwards? Sure. That's what hey, I could see Bell Edwards talking to Carbo and Jim Beam, and Jim Beam goes, what do you need me to hit now? Yes, of course. I'll beat him up again. I'll beat him up every time. Anything you need for, I do Thursdays and Sundays, and whatever article you need me to write, I'll be glad to write and attack them. And that's what they're doing. It's collusion, I think. I don't know if the Russians are involved, but I smell a little collusion in this. All right. Jeff on the road. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, Moon. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, sir.
Well, one of your prior callers was talking about he had to leave the Republican Party. Well, the Republican Party left me, so I just went down and changed my voter registration.
To what?
Independent.
Okay. Did you do an independent party or did you do no party?
That's a good question.
No party.
Yeah,
okay, good, because they got a group out there, Pat Najaron and them, and I know them, and I like Pat. They start this independent party thinking that when people say, well, I'm independent now, and people go down there and not thinking, so I'm going to get the independent party. They're trying to actually form an independent party. There is an independent party, but you go no party is what you want. And you deal with it. Just took you a little longer to realize what was going on than me. Now, be honest with you, I still vote Republican a lot, but I get mad at them because they won't be conservative.
Exactly. They say one thing and do another.
Well, I'm starting to realize not so much the party, but the people we elect that say one thing and do something else. The party and the grassroots of the state Republican Party I'm talking about. I know a lot of them, men and women. They're good people. They're very conservative. They chose to stay in the party to fight to get it conservative. Okay? It's a tough road for them, and I wish them the best of luck. And I've been criticized saying, well, you need to stay and fight. No, I had better things to do with my time.
Exactly.
You know, I left when Bobby Jindal came in. He was a big conservative, and Bobby was worried about Bobby.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I don't like the Jay Dawson type Republicans, Julie Stokes, who's Nancy Pelosi, because they're fake. They're totally fake.
Exactly.
They're fake Republicans, and they are hurting us.
Yep. That's true.
All right, my brother. Well, you in my party. Brandon, you in?
That's it.
All right, thanks for the call. Brandon, you independent?
No party.
No party. I mean, no party.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
yep.
Brandon's no party. I didn't. When you do that?
Absolutely. About 2 years ago.
Okay, you did do it?
Oh, yes.
You told me you did that.
Oh, I did. It was at least about 2 years ago.
Yeah, somebody said, well, you're not going to get to vote. The only thing we miss is
deal.
a presidential primary.
Who cares?
That's all we get. And by the way, usually when it gets to Louisiana, it's over anyway.
Yeah. Who cares?
So that's all you miss. You don't
Who cares not being able to vote in the primary?
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Ricky on the road. Ricky, how you doing?
Moon, kind of going along with your conversation of this morning, it kind of sounds like we should have the Statue of Liberty moved to Baton Rouge. I can't quote the whole thing, but give us your poor, your downtrodden. That's all Louisiana is keeping and growing, is the poor and the downtrodden and the...
Well, but, we made it easy. Bell Edwards came along, and it was before him, but he really made it easy to be poor here. And that's what they want because it's easy to control. You get the votes, you get to stay in power. If Bell Edwards was honest, he would be driving this state to be the best business community it can be and best business state in the country. And I don't care what they say about anything they say about economic development. We are struggling. If you have our migration, people are leaving for jobs. That's the fact. We've lost 2 congressmen. Paul Hurd yesterday, who was official lawyer to Moon Griffon Show for many years, he was scared about losing. We're going to do the census in 2020, then redistricting. When that comes out, he's worried about losing another congressman. That means we would have went from 8 to 7 to 6 to 5. And that means you don't have a growing state economically, because if you did, people would not move.
And Moon, I like to paraphrase Governor Dingbell Edwards. Either you stupid or you don't understand. Now tell me what you don't understand and I'll explain it to you. It's in black and white. Why can't these idiots, and they're not all, but...
Well, that ain't what Edwards said. I can explain it for you, but I can't understand it for you.
I mean, I can explain it to you. I can't understand it for you, and I'm not trying to be ugly about that.
By the way, Brandon, you think he was really trying not to be ugly about that?
To me, that's the funniest part of the line.
I know. When you tell me I'm not trying to be ugly. Yeah, you are. You're a smart ass. I mean, we all are. I'm one sometimes to myself.
He's a dumbass, but he tries to make himself look like a smart ass. Thank you, Moon.
I appreciate the call. All right, we gotta take a break before we get to the next call, Brandon.
Yeah.
And we do have something we want to play too. The Democrats are still freaking out on the election, so we got a Liberty taste of that. We'll let you listen to as well. All right, Buck on the road. You up next? 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We don't really want to get our job and businesses off and running wide open, and that is the problem we have here. And could you imagine if we do the census and lose another one? That would be horrible. We'll take a break. Be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice right here on the Moon Griffon Show. All right, Buck on the road. Buck, how you doing?
Good, Moon. I want to ask you, let me make sure first, right now in our national elections, you have, for the primaries, if you're a Republican, if you want to vote in the Republican primary for, say, our U.S. Senator, you have to be registered as a Republican, right?
Yes. What happens is, not in Louisiana, no. We don't have closed primaries. We don't have no closed primaries. So Louisiana is the exception. Most other states have what they call closed primaries. So Republicans vote Republicans, Democrat vote Democrat. Now, there are exceptions to that. There are areas where Democrats allow independents to vote in their primary. And there may be some exceptions for Republicans as well. There probably are. I don't know anything about them. But I know here, Buck, we have an open primary. So everybody can run the first round, and the top 2 candidates, if nobody gets over 50% plus one, they go in a runoff. And it doesn't matter. It can be 2 Republicans, a Republican and Democrat, 2 Democrats. And then you decide it like that.
Well, so as a non-party affiliate, you're able to go and vote in the You're able to vote in the Republican primary for U.S. Senator or U.S. The presidential primary.
In a non-primary, everybody can vote. I'm sorry. Let me back up.
I'm not talking about general election. I'm talking about, say, like when the presidential election where you had 10 Republicans up there that wanted to be the presidential nominee for that primary.
The Republicans would vote in their primary. If not me, I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote because I'm not a Republican.
Okay, well, that's what I was asking. That's the primary, and that's what I.
That's the one. That's the one.
Your attention.
Yeah, but that's the one vote I tell you I can't vote. I can't vote in that.
Yeah.
But let me just say this now, Louisiana, 90% of the time, we already know who the Republican nominee is before we vote. So have I really missed a lot of votes? Not all, but a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, but what my point is being affiliated with the Republican Party. If they've got 10 people up there and you don't agree with any of them, then you don't have to go vote for any of them.
Correct.
But like you said, you're more of a conservative leaning person, just a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot. But
I'm way out there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, if you've got a group of people out there and one of those, it's not going to be a Democrat that's conservative, and it's not going to be anybody in the independent party. It's going to be a Republican. Mm-hmm. And if you want to choose, you say you see a really good, strong conservative that looks like they're going to be true to their word, you can't vote for them in the primary. You got to hope that they get elected.
You're correct.
They get selected to be the candidate. And that's a lot of times the Republican Party, they don't want to support the most conservative. They want to support the most Republican. So I'm not saying that they should open it up to everybody. I'm just saying I feel like a lot of people that go a no-party affiliation. I mean, I do that. I'm a Republican, and if I don't want to go vote for anybody, I won't.
Yeah,
but if I see a candidate that I want to support, then I'm able to go and say, that's the guy I want running for us.
Buck, I understand everything you said now, and I respect that, and that's a good thing to stay in the party and do that. Doing what I'm doing for a living, I just got frustrated with the ones that I thought were the most conservative, absolutely doing opposite of what they said. And Bobby Jindal broke my back on that because I really thought he was going to be the real deal. And I got to tell you, I got the red, you know what? And I marched my butt after that first session and changed, and I ain't never looked back. Now, I've been non-invited, not everywhere. I still go speak at Republican stuff, but I've been non-invited because of that. And the other thing is, I got cross with the party leaders under Jindal. I can sit here and name them all. And got cross with them. But I didn't get cross with them because I was wrong. I got cross with them, in my opinion, because I was right. And they had to stick with old Bobby when they knew dang good and well the things he was doing was wrong. And at that, I justified leaving with no problem. And I challenged him. And I challenge him if I was in the party, out the party. So I think you make a good point in saying that we got a real conservative, and old Moon and Brandon, y'all sitting on the sideline to help get him over the hump. I understand that. But I'll take that criticism for right now.
I hear you.
I'll take that criticism for right now.
Bring that up. Maybe you'll change your mind, but just keep on doing what you're doing on the radio. I sure appreciate it.
No, and I appreciate you. And I think you made a really good point. And I've heard that before, too, Buck. I've heard people bring that up to me and say, boy, you need to stay within the party. But it was not worth the fight to me anymore. It was worth me, I'm doing this. Thank God I got an opportunity to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do it one more day or 10 more years. I don't know. But I got really frustrated. Bobby Jindal fooled me. And I had enough of that kind of foolishness. And he really did. And I was the one, no matter what Dale Edwards and the Democrats and old Crazy Beam and the rest of them say, I was one of the first ones to recognize what was going on in that administration. And I did get a falling out with the state Republican Party leadership. Not every single one of them, but a lot of them. But people that know me in the Republican Party that are grassroots, they know where I stand. And they decided to stay in the party and fight, and I'm proud of them. I think they should. But that's what they believe they should do. But they're not mad at me. Only thing, people got mad at me the first 5 or 6, 7 years on Jindal. They did. They got livid with me. I mean, they were mad as hell at me. And it took a while, but I tell you what, I stood my ground, and I'm telling y'all, I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody came up to me and said, you were right about Jindal. You were right about Jindal. You were right about Jindal. And every year I got more and more people that would come back and tell me that. I had a couple apologize to me because they were in a church, and they told the rest of their church, don't listen to me because I turned on Jindal, and later they came back and apologized. And I was really humbled by these people. They didn't have to do that. I never knew they got mad at me. I didn't even know them. And I had stories like that. I could tell you probably 50 stories right now that happened like that with Jindal. It's not that I'm tooting my own horn. I'm just telling you I was right. And I was also the first one that supported Jindal. You know, one of the first ones that got out in the head for him. And it was wrong. But see, I call it both ways. Taylor Townsend, who me and him don't see eye to eye on a dang thing. He's a law firm, and they're involved in all these lawsuits. He was a senator. He was a representative, and who beat him? Oh, the stand-up guy beat him, Brandon, Gerald Long. You know, and Gerald Long, one of the first phone calls they made from his beautiful wife, Rose, who's no longer with us, called to thank me for helping him. And I saw Taylor Townsend, I don't know, a few months later or maybe a year later, and he was throwing some nice words at me. I tell you what, the letters start with all the ones that you see Democrats are throwing out there, the F-bomb. And but he did tell me this. He said, I tell you what, one thing about you. He said, you don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. You help Bobby Jindal get elected, and you over there busting his chops. So I'm not busting his chops. He said one thing, and he did something else. So Bill Edwards comes along, and I see the hypocrisy with the honor code, the hypocrisy saying they inherited a bad budget. When they didn't inherit it, the dang man voted for it. And the hypocrisy over and over again with Edwards. And Jay Darden is not a bigger hypocrite in the whole country than the liberal Jay Darden, who $237,500 salaries, retirement $16,000 plus a year or more. And his ship came in to knife a Republican. We're going to write that in the next election. We're going to write that. We're not going to sit here for 4 more years and watch Bel Edwards raise every tax known to mankind because you got weak elected officials like Paige Cortez and Mark Taxes Abraham and Julie Stokes, who's a Nancy Pelosi, and Rob Shadwell. I hate raising taxes. Brad, he may hate raising taxes. I'd hate to see if he loved raising taxes. You? Could you imagine Shadwell was the governor? I hate raising taxes. And try to raise $20 billion worth of taxes. That man. I don't know if anybody's going to beat him, by the way. I don't even know if anybody's going to run in Ruston to beat him. That dude is killing us, but yet those are the type of Republicans I can't stomach no more. I'm sorry.
Don't forget this one as well.
I don't want to be known as somebody that in favor of taxes, but I'll be damned if I'm going to cut $100 million out of education in the state of Louisiana when I know that's what we need in this state.
Yeah, Mr. Donahue. He's raising taxes too, man, but he votes for him too. It's amazing. Mark Moore Abraham, don't raise no tax, raise every tax known to mankind, pushing all the taxes he could possibly push. Julie Stokes, same way. Julie Stokes will push for a tax. Let me tell you how fake Stokes is. You think Darden's fake? Julie Stokes will push for every tax, and when it comes to vote, she'll vote against him. Why? Politics. All right, let's take a break. By the way, pretty boy Troy Hebert back in the news. Pretty boy. That's right. I nicknamed him, and he wore it proudly. Back in the news. Good news for Pretty Boy. And also, Democrats, after a loss, declaring victory. I don't know how you do this. This is very confusing to me. Maybe one of y'all can help me out. All that and more when we get back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere, folks. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Don't forget my good friends at Shucks. You know, Brandon, I have not been to Shucks. We went on vacation, all that. It's been 1st of July since I've been to Shucks.
Oh, man.
I'm not saying I'm going this weekend, but I'm going this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt about it. I love Cajun cuisine. I love a good time. I love a great atmosphere. You get to the weekend and you're relaxing and you go, man, I just want to go enjoy myself. I tell you what you do. Take the short drive to Abbeville to Shucks if you live in this area. And if you don't enjoy the Cajun food, I'm going to be shocked. Now, I know it's hot. Some people are saying, I don't eat fried foods. Well, Shucks ain't about fried food. Shucks is about great food. And by the way, you realize that, and Brandon, you may or may not know this, they can grill or bake almost any of the seafoods that they have. So if you want something a little lighter, but you still want your oysters and your shrimp and your crawfish and your crab, they've got great dishes that you can eat without you don't have to eat the seafood platter every time.
How about the stuffed flounder that they had? The shucking flounder?
Shucking flounder.
Oh, man, that is
By the way,
amazing.
Remember when you went that time, it wasn't even on the menu. It's a special, and that's on the menu every day.
Ah, okay.
So anyway, good time, good food, and they do a great job. Their waiters or waitresses do an awesome job. If you want a good time, good relaxing opportunity, doesn't matter if it's for lunch or supper, Monday through Saturday, go to Shucks. If you're coming from out of town, check out Shucks. All righty. Brandon, I want you to play this. The Democrats lost. It looks like they lost unless they steal election. And they're claiming it's a victory. If you lose, you lose. It's not a victory. Brandon, they don't go in the Super Bowl. Well, the New York Giants upset the New England Patriots, but the Patriots claim victory. It doesn't work like that. If you don't get 50% plus one vote, you lose. If you lose by 7,000 votes or you lose by one vote, the results are exactly the same. You lost. Not with Democrats. They calling all this moral victory. Here we go.
And again, this is an RNC ad.
In Ohio, 12, but no cigar, at least not yet.
This is a moral victory for the Democrats. The fact that they're this close is a moral victory for the Democrats. You want a real victory.
We got some mojo, all right? So I don't know if it's a moral victory or whatever.
Moral victory does not get you an office in Washington.
Moral victory isn't going to cast a vote here in Washington.
Come November, you need more than moral victories. You're going to need to get better than close in some of these races, correct?
You said this morning there are no silver medals in politics.
That's it. Second place gets you oblivion, not a silver medal.
Moral victories do not a House majority make. They've got to get across the finish line in these districts in November.
Either winning seats or you're not. A win is a win.
A win's a win.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Who said that?
That was from one of the Fast and Furious movies, that last clip.
Can I be honest with you? They were right. If the Democrats want moral victories, the Republicans would trade the real victory with the moral victories every single day. Every day. If they want moral victories, let them win all the moral victories they can. And I hope that's all they win, is moral victories. So they can say, well, we got close. Brandon, it goes both ways. I remember when Jindal got beat by Governor Blanco, and I want to say it was 52-48, okay? Maybe a little bit wrong on the percentage, but I think it was that close. I had some people say, well, Jindal did good. My buddy Lyle Miller told me this. He had a guy come in there and said, Jindal did real good. He said, he lost. And Lyle said, well, damn, he got 48% of the vote. And Lyle looked at him and said, the Democrats would trade with you every day for 48% to go 52-48 every day, and you go ahead and love your loss of 48%. And Brandon, I think it would have been an interesting race had it been round 2, Jindal versus Blanco with no Katrina. A sitting governor going against the young wonder boy. And we found out after 8 years. By the way, I voted for Jindal when he got beat by Blanco. And I voted for Jindal the first time when he won the governorship. I did not vote for him in the second round. My blood-stained hands, I was cleaning them off by then. All right. Just saying. So anyway, the Democrats are declaring victory after they get beat. And I don't know how you do that. Did Brandon, the year the Giants upset the Patriots? Actually, they did it twice.
They did it twice.
And did the Patriots ever declare them as Super Bowl victories?
Nope.
I was just kind of curious because they didn't win. They couldn't declare it. I thought one of the comments that you heard was coming in second place doesn't give you a vote in Washington, D.C. How true. How true. All right. Pretty boy Hebert. The jury decided in favor of former ATC commissioner in retaliation lawsuit. A federal judge on Monday decided in favor of a former Louisiana commissioner subject to allegations that he violated the rights of an employee he fired. Troy, Pretty boy Hebert, who led Louisiana's Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control, fired employee Brett Tingle in 2015. At the time, Hebert issued a press release to announce the termination detailed the allegations against Tingle, which included payroll fraud and using racist language on a state-issued cell phone. Tingle's lawsuit made 3 claims against Hebert's retaliation, invasion of privacy, and defamation. The jury decided against Tingle on all 3. Under our current broken system, this is what happens into an agency's head that goes in and runs the agency like a business, holds workers accountable, and cuts the number of state employees in half. They get sued. Hebert said, Pretty Boy said on KATC TV3. Tingle, veteran ATC employee and supervisor, when he was terminated, claimed Hebert retaliated against him for participating as a witness in another discrimination complaint against Hebert. According to the lawsuit, he claimed Hebert defamed him by issuing a press release about the termination. So anyway, it's over. Pretty Boy wins. And this is a federal case. What do you mean? He did win.
It's over. Pretty Boy wins. If that would have only been the headline, it's over. Pretty Boy wins.
I like the headlines myself. Because like I said, I say this about Hebert. He's one of the guys that I had a lot of fun with through the years. And he even told me when he ran last time. What did he run for last time?
The big Senate race.
Okay. And he said, Moon, it's not like it was when I was in office and you were on the radio and you were tagging us. And he said, I made it into fun because I said, Troy, look, I don't agree with Troy on some stuff. He don't agree with me. But he was right. You could have fun, come up with a nickname, and Troy would go to the Senate floor.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go to the Senate floor and he'd say, y'all ain't voting that way. I talk shows, Moon Griffon ain't gonna be talking about me on there. And Troy had fun. Remember the roast we had? Troy had a lot of fun. He had a lot of fun hammering my butt. And I laughed at him man, he was great. By the way, let's see, Secretary of State Kyle Andre has raised more money than all opponents by a wide margin, just 9 days. He's got nearly 100,000, bringing in 87,000. I think Edmund has put out a deal that he's raising money. And every time you read that, quote, Julie Stokes is the front runner, that was made up by the press. Jeremy Offit put it in his piece. Beam has put it in his piece. There's no such thing.
But what if she goes from the quote unquote front runner to not even getting the top two?
I don't think she makes the top two. I think Julie Stokes will be fourth or fifth. I don't think she'll be close. And if she is close, we, including myself, are stupid. By the way, somebody said their drill instructor used to tell them second place means you're the first loser. So if Democrats want to stay first loser, we welcome it all over the country. God bless. See you tomorrow, folks, it's Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Days are messed up when I go out of town. See you tomorrow on Open Forum Friday.